Field fighting in the game. I have been asked so many times, Chadsky, can you make me a field fighting guide? And this is going to be the video that's going to help you because a lot of things have changed. A lot of people like to fight zoomed in now. So dot fighting is not something that people like to do near as much anymore because people have learned how to stack marches, how to keep your marches closely together to where they don't spread out. And you can see that when any kind of fighting you get into, whether it's a vanguard fight where it is a stalemate or whether it's a back and forth fight like we have right here, we're going to go through all this. We're going to talk about marches. We're going to talk about what to do. We're going to talk about the checklist of things you got to make sure and do. We're going to talk about all of it right now because this is everything that has to do with field fighting.
Rallies lit up, marching right from the zone to the zone. I stay in control. Man of the people, all heart, no roll, no script, no throne, just rhythm and fire. Built for the push, never gonna tire. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chadsky mode. This is Chadsky mode.
Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chadsky. I put out videos all the time. And if you enjoy this video and get something out of it, then please give it a thumbs up, give it a like, really helps out the channel, really helps out the videos. If you are not subscribed, consider doing so. You can hit that subscribe button to get access to my channel. Also, you can hit that bell to get alerts when I put out any kind of guides like this or videos like this. This is the field guide. And I'm gonna have all kinds of examples of how you're supposed to fight, where you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to fight with the marches you have, how you're supposed to stack marches, how you fight zoomed in, and all the different things that go with it. And some of the first things I will talk about is that you gotta have a checklist of things you wanna make sure and get done. For instance, if you are fighting right here, you can see the number 1 marker. Most kingdoms use a number 1 marker to tell you where the ball is supposed to go or where the rendezvous point is or where the turn point is when you're going back and forth and fighting. And so wherever that is, wherever the fighting is taking place, if your city is on territory, like right here, you do not want to be in the alliance that is not on the flag. And some of you like to stay off tag because you like it if somebody hits your city, but most players don't necessarily like that. So you, number 1, always want to be in the alliance that gives you the march speed. Because now the mechanics in the game are that you can't just click home. You can't just click your back button and you go super fast. That used to be the way it was, to where my alliance territory is back here. If I click on the alliance territory, then I get the speed buff and I go super fast. That's not the way it is anymore. You have to be on the territory. And so wherever your city is or wherever the fighting zone is, whatever territory that might be, you want to be on that alliance. You want to be in that alliance that's on that territory. So the minute you're moving around super fast. That is the first thing you want to make sure you're doing. Assess where the fighting is, assess where you are going back and forth, where you're retreating, your line of retreat, and make sure you are on the territory that's going to give you the march speed, because march speed is everything when it comes to field fighting. Everything. Okay, and so from there, you want to make sure you are doing that correctly and that is working out. Now, when you get into murder ball fights, there are all kinds of different murder ball fights. There's stalemate fights that I like, and that's basically hitting a vanguard. We're going to sit and slug it out. It's a lazy way to fight, but I love doing that. Then you have back and forth fighting, and I'll go into some of that here in just a second. But before I do, you always want to make sure that when I said march speed is key, that is why if you're field fighting, you want as much march speed as possible. When you do some of your armaments and you get march speed on it, sometimes you want to keep that. You want to keep running with march speed, okay? I've got march speed of 5.9% on my Ragnar because he's typically slow if I'm running him with CPO. And so I love being able to put march speed on it. Now, I'd rather have a whole bunch of attack, yeah, but the march speed is very beneficial. So sometimes you get march speed on your armaments, you want to keep it. That's 5.9% march speed, all right? Between that and a 3-piece that or a 4-piece that I'm running here with the Eternal Set 4-piece, you get 10% march speed. So just by my armaments and my gear, I'm grabbing 16% march speed, which is huge. So you can find little ways to do that, especially for your infantry and especially for your archers, because they're typically slow. Okay, getting boots to tier 5 is paramount when it comes to archers. All right, and this is for field. I would rather have tier 5 boots I'm being real with you and honest with you. I would rather have tier 5 boots on my archers than I would a tier 5 weapon. Even though the weapon does so much damage, it gives you furious strike. Because it doesn't matter if you can't run anywhere. Okay, you gotta get tiered up boots on your infantry and your archer marches as fast as possible. This is my second account. It's much more an account of the people, if you will. I don't have crazy tier 5 stuff everywhere and crazy special inscriptions like the 27 special inscriptions I've got on my main. So this is the way I like to do it. So now let's talk about the fighting side of things, and let's get in this murder ball and go fight and show you some things. All right, so when you're in a ball like this, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to build a flag. So we're balled up, and that's the number one thing. Number one, you got to be in voice, and you got to understand that way you don't get caught out, because you got war leads in voice telling you when to push, and as you can see here, when to go back. All right, you're trying to keep these people off of it. Now you're going to have KP chasers. You're going to have all kinds of people in here trying to just go get KP, so they'll run away from the ball. And those are the kind of players that leadership hates. But the minute they get close enough, then you can engage. And that's what you want to do. You want to engage, whether you're running 5, 6, or 7 marches, you go engage. Now, you don't want to get exposed, and you got to be in voice. I'm in voice now, and I'm hearing them say, back up, back up, back up. So we come back, and these marches here hopefully don't get exposed. That's how you want to make sure you do it. You got to be in voice, and you got to listen to the war leads. You got to have good war leads. If you're in a kingdom and people aren't telling you what to do, demand a war lead. Who's leading? Who's going on? Because right now they're telling us to push. So we go push, we knock them off of our ball, we start engaging, and you can see when I target, I'm gonna put it right in the middle. Now, when I say put it right in the middle, that means after I start hitting, then I immediately target right in the middle. Because what happened, that's called stacking marches. You guys have seen Enzo talk about this. You've seen other big time players talk about stacking marches. And that's why we fight zoomed in, because you can go in and you can target. And the minute you see all of your marches pop through and start hitting, then you push the middle here. Keep them all in line. And they still keep hitting, because anything that's touching basically the circle, that they're going to keep hitting. And that's what stacking marches is. You want to stack those marches when you're in these kind of line fighting, or when you have a stalemate and you're running 2 murder balls, but you have to be careful. Now, this is the kind of fighting that we get into that is back and forth. Okay, a lot of pilots on these accounts, and a lot of pilots, all they do is KP chase. So they just go back and forth. Over here too, that's what they do. So I'm gonna sit right at the front, and I'm gonna get away to where I'm not gonna be targeted, and I am gonna be one of the first to pounce when they say go push. And now you see them all running. And after they run for a while, then they're gonna come back. Like, this is an epidemic of pilots. This is what happens, because nobody really wants to stand and fight. Nobody's really fighting objectively. And while I'm pushing, I don't have to worry about clicking to stack, because when you push and you're chasing, you don't want to stack. You're going to slow your marches down. But when you're in a stalemate fight and you're going back and forth at a particular level, that's when you want to stack your marches, okay? So from here, a lot of players now are not playing in dot mode anymore. They've learned how to fight, they've learned how to stack marches, and it works out really, really well. Now, what you'll see I like to do, I don't just like to click on marches. Even though I've got quick command on, I don't just click on marches like this, right? I'm not just clicking on marches. I am actually dragging, because when you click on marches, it gets a little helter-skelter down here. All right, when you drag, you can make sure that you are targeting the closest target to you, like that Chen before he died. You want to target the closest target at their vanguard that you can. And then once you engage in that, then you can stack your marches. Okay, I'm engaged, stack my marches. Let me go engage again, and I'll stack my marches, make sure I'm staying all nice and neat, stack my marches, engage again, then I stack my marches, and then that's how you basically want to do it. That's how you maximize the KP, and then boom, you see that? You see all that AoE that just charges up. And now here's all the second skills. Now I hear everybody saying, get ready to back up, get ready to back up. So now I'm backing up. Okay, and so you have players that aren't in voice, they're still down there fighting, and I guess we're gonna keep pushing. And so from there, that's how you want to engage. You want to fight. Okay, now we're going to back up. You never want to be the last guy to leave. You always want to make sure you're one of the first to hear the fall back call from the war leads, and then you come back to the mark. And that's what we're trying to get done. Okay, so this is, now they're all kind of closing in on us. We got to stay cool. We got to stay just chill. We're going to stay right here in the ball. You can just click. Keep quick command clicking right in the middle there, and it keeps your, there's a march that popped out of the city. It keeps all your marches nice and tight. Everybody in the ball does that. And then we get a push call and we go push. And so this is a little bit of back and forth, but we're trying to sustain field. And this isn't like just running all the way back to your cities. This is just, you're pushing them out. You get good trades, then you don't get caught. You come back, bring it back to the ball. Okay, this is not the kind of fighting I like to do. I like to just stand there and slug it out and see if you can gain ground and gain territory and go big murder ball on big murder ball. But this is the kind of fighting you have to do sometimes when you're dropping flags, and they're not just going to ball up and try to push you. They're going to just try to get KP. And so now I kind of hear a push call. Okay, you can push out a little bit. These guys are going to run, and after they run, they're going to regroup. But maybe I can catch a few and get a couple of chin fire-offs there. And you got to remember, I've also got CJ on skills. So CJ is always great because it's an instant proc. It's an instant proc. You're going to see a fan pop out, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, you started your active skill really, really fast. But if you look at it, now I'm going to be one of the first to turn. And now I'm going to get targeted. But you see there that they quit targeting me right when I turn. And the minute I start hitting, okay, I want to stack my marches. Now I go hit again. And if you're chasing, don't stack marches. If you're chasing, just go chase. Now right here, I'm going to stack them, just waiting for them. And the reason why you stack marches is to keep all of your marches together. They don't go rogue. They don't get all over the place. You stack those marches. You let your active skills fire off. You bring it back to the ball. Really pretty simple on how to do that. Like I said, you can watch Enzo. Enzo, I'll have a link down for his YouTube channel down in the description. Enzo streams fighting all the time. He's one of the best fighters in the game. And he was the one that, honestly started stacking marches like over a year ago, realizing that you don't have to be targeting. Once you've targeted and engaged with all of your marches, then if you stack them, then all of any march that's hitting basically the circle, the circle that you got running around all of your marches, anything that touches those, your marches are going to hit. And that's why stacking works. That's why zoomed in fighting is back. We were doing a bunch of dot fighting for a long time, and I was too. That's the only way I could fight some of these big murder balls. And I realized real quick that when I do the stack marching and when I have to do that zoomed in, and it's just much more effective. You do dot mode and you do zoomed out fighting, it's really hard to keep your marches in check. They start going everywhere. And so there I've engaged, I've stacked, I engage again, I stack, I engage again, I stack. There's a CJ skill popping off. Now I'm going to come back. Now I've got some rage loaded up a little bit here. And at any time I can turn, I'm just waiting for that turn call in voice. I'm on war voice right now. And now they're saying turn. Okay, so then you turn around and boom, you're just stacking stuff. You're stacking marches. You keep targeting and stack, targeting and stack. And then if they're running, you just target and go. Target and go and try to hit as many as you can. Now they say fall back. Now we fall back. And that's basically the essence of how you need to fight in these types of fights. If you're fighting on the front line, okay, if you're fighting on the front line and it is a stalemate, then you can do this same stacking mechanism, but you don't have to keep like chasing them off because they're not running and you're not running. You're just hitting them and they're hitting you and you're getting after it and you're going back and forth. You're going down to them, coming back, going down, coming back. You're doing all that if that line of defense is right here. And so from there, when we're doing a little bit of this back and forth, I try to get into a spot where I know that the turn's going to be. You're waiting for that turn call and you're going to hear a war voice leader say, turn, 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 turn. And that means you go. And so from that standpoint, that's how you have to do these types of fights. And it's part of the mechanics of open field fighting, okay? And so from there, that's what you want to do. And you got to figure out what kind of fighting the kingdom that you've got. You're going to get used to fighting like this. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass, but that's okay. We're going to go out and get KP anyway, so I'm going to sit right at the turn call, right where they say to turn, and I'm going to be one of the first to turn, and here I go. I'm turning on them. My marches engage. I stack them up, turn on them again. Marches engage, stack them up, turn on them. They're running, so I'm just going to chase for a little bit. I'm going to switch targets over here, get these marches going, and then bring it back. Okay, and I might or might not even get a skill cycle off. But that's okay, because the one thing that you have to understand about field fighting and why combo commanders are so popular right now is because you don't have to wait on active skills to fire off anymore. You're just going to do damage. Chin does immediate damage, right? And you got like CJ skills going off and doing damage. Look, I've just got combo stuff firing off. I got all kinds of things firing off all the time. And because of that, it works out really, really well. And so another thing that you just saw me do right there, okay, and I have to show people this. This is a trick that will help you get away, okay? You do what I call the city Houdini trick, right? You just go Houdini. And basically, this is how this works. You've seen this and other people have put this stuff out, but just to understand, let's say I'm fighting right here and I am leading the ball. Everybody's already run off and I'm stuck and I'm going to get targeted by all the enemy right here. Okay. We're just going to pretend. And I'm right here fighting. What you do is you take your marches and you drag it to the other side of a city, just to the other side. And watch, the minute your marches, okay, the minute your marches start walking through the city, then you can point wherever you want. Like, watch. So you do here, and I go right through Stafford City. Okay, now let me show you the difference there. If you do not put it right at the edge of the city here, and you actually try to walk away and get back to the ball, and let's say all your marches are stacked up right here, and you're trying to get back to the ball way back here, you click back here, and you're still being able to walk through. However, if you're too far away from the city, if you're like not on the city, like let me bring him down here, and you're fighting and you want to walk through that city, and you click back here, watch what your marches do. They go around. And that's how you get killed so often, because you have to walk around a city. So the minute you see your marches starting to walk around a city, and I'll just show it to you here. It's actually really good that we're fighting and I'm able to show you guys this. The minute you're fighting right here and you decide you need to retreat and you bring it back and you realize you're going to start walking around the city, just immediately click your marches and click back here, because they'll walk through it. They'll just start walking through the city. And then you can hit your return march, or you can move your marches away and it will continue to run through the city. So that's the key, is that you want to run through the city. And so with that is how this stuff kind of plays out and works out. And that's how you need to do it when it comes to stacking marches, fighting back and forth, fighting in a vanguard, and using the Houdini trick when you're running. Okay, and so from there, we'll have more and more stuff as we go along and continue to talk. All right, now we can talk about some of the marches that you want to use in the field. AoE is primary. When you are field fighting, okay, you got to have really, really good marches. This is not a march guide. This is not like an ultimate murder ball guide or a commander tier list guide or anything. This is just telling you and giving you the application to put into your field, because when you're fielding, you want to do as much damage as possible, but it's good to have balanced marches. First of all, everybody's got to have a chin. You got to have a chin. You can run chin with blue gear and markswoman, and it's still going to trade really well and do a lot of damage. Okay, so he'll carry just about anything. He's great at being able to rack up the KP, and it's wonderful. Now, I had mentioned earlier about combo marches, and this is why combo is very, very important as it pertains to field fighting. Okay, as it pertains to chasing down marches and going back and forth and doing the different things that you're doing while you're fighting. Combo marches do instant proc damage. A lot of them do. You can see even over here on Hector. Hector does an instant proc damage that will fire off when he's a combo commander. It's a 400 damage factor, and it's really, really good. And it can literally stack up to 3 times. You can do a lot of different combo damages just from his passive skill. You got the same thing with Arthur. Arthur's got the same type of deal, to where if this commander is serving as a primary commander, you can do these extra combo damage effects, and there's a 50% chance. So that'll fire off multiple times. In addition to that, every combo commander has the combo tree, Iron and Steel. So that's where the red numbers come from, guys. They're just firing off all kinds of combo damage everywhere. So it makes it much easier to go get damage on the field without having to wait for an active skill. Okay, so it kind of, I was trying to figure out why Huo was not performing. I've run Huo for so many years now, why he wasn't performing. And he has a quick rage cycle, and that's what's made him very, very popular, is because his rage cycle really, really comes down. You bring your rage cycle down 150 rage, so he fires off at 850 rage. And from that standpoint, there's even some other additional rage cycle stuff going on here. But that's why he was so important for so long, because he could fire off so fast. So fast. And so now that you've got these combo commanders And Luce was like the first one to start it. People didn't realize that because his expertise is a combo attack. Okay, now you don't necessarily see this. This is always done as an extra basic attack. But what it did and why it was so popular to run him with Alex is because Alex has got one of the best instant procs in the game. Probably the best instant proc in the game. And this would fire off more times. So combo has kind of taken over when it comes to actually doing quick damage. Because you can put commanders like Philip behind Arthur. You can put Philip behind Achilles. You can put Philip behind people because Philip has an absolute fantastic instant proc to 3 targets. That's really, really good. And so from there, you're starting to see where combo is starting to take over. Now you still have Smite, and Smite's killing it. You still have Chen, but why is Chen so popular? Let me ask you why. Okay, this is what I think everybody needs to understand. We love Chen because we don't have to wait on his active skill. He starts doing damage immediately. He starts doing AoE damage immediately. The second you hit combat with this guy, you start seeing red numbers fly off. And it just fits right in when it comes to Arthur, when it comes to Achilles, when it comes to Hector. And I can't wait to get Gang Max. Where's he at? I got him here somewhere. The other combo commander that came out, Gang's going to be on the wheel soon. I can't wait to get him max because he does extra combo attacks. I mean, it's really, really good. And so from there, when you lay down so much combo attacks on the target, it works out so well. And he's got the healing factor that goes with it. Also, he's got the talent tree. Just run combo. And so from there, you've got so many combo commanders now. And that's why the secret of Hector and why he's got so much versatility is that when you put him as a combo commander, if you put him behind cavalry, he becomes a combo commander that does instant procs. And so part of the reason why so much of the field now is like quick damage, put as many red numbers out there as possible, hit your procs off of your commanders that have instant procs, whether it's Alex, whether it's William, whether it's Philip, doesn't matter. Belly's got one, doesn't matter. You do as much damage as possible real fast and get away. While you're doing that damage, you're raging up your rage bar. Okay, so you're doing damage, your rage bar is going up, and then you run away. And then you turn around and you turn on him while your rage bar is still there and you hit him immediately and you're doing more combo damages. Meanwhile, your rage bar is getting to the active skill and then just like you saw earlier, boom, all the active skill fires off and it's just red numbers going everywhere. That's how you got to do it. So to refresh, okay, we are doing a field guide. And we are actually, let me just bring all my marches back up here. I run 6 on this account and I was showing you how this stuff worked. And to kind of refresh how we're going to do this is that you learn how to fight close up. You learn how to fight not in dot mode. You learn how to fight when you are stacking your marches and have more control of them. And again, one of my favorite things to do is to not use just click. I don't like quick command to just click because in a big murder ball where they've got a lot of marches, you don't know who you're clicking on. You might be clicking on the march at the very back of the ball. It's so helter-skelter. However, if you just drag, you can always click on the closest march right there. There's the closest march right there. Let me kind of get here. There's the closest march right there. Now, who else? Who else? There's the closest march. Still the closest march. And you can make sure you're targeting the close. There's another close march right there. Oh. Find the closest march and go target it. And that's why I like to drag. All right. Now, if you're in a position to where, look at this, red numbers everywhere, just like I talked about. You're just doing red numbers everywhere to everybody. And so from there, you're getting an active skill from Arthur. His combo's firing off very fast. Now I'm going to bring it back before these guys turn on me. But I love dragging. And if you are in a situation, finally, the last thing I will say is that if you're in a situation to where your city is up here somewhere and you can instantly hit the back button or hit your return key on your hotkeys, then you're instantly going to go back. Well, my city's over here. So when I hit that hotkey, look where they run. They're running to the right. And if they run to the right, you got to be careful. So in these kind of situations where you can't really use your return key, you just got to drag and drop and drag and drop. And you just got to remember, if you're going to retreat, you got to just quick command. That's where quick command works best, is when you're retreating. Now I'm getting caught here while I'm doing this. That happens sometimes. I'm waiting on my teammates to turn. They turn, I turn with them. And then now we're cooking. Okay, and so from there, that's how you want to get this thing done. Now, I got cooked a little bit there, but now I'm going to get my revenge. And you see all these red numbers from all my marches. It's my turn now. And so from there, that's how you want to do this, okay? And you're back and forth fighting. I'm not a huge fan of it, but hopefully this video gave you a whole lot of information on how to do this, a whole lot of information on how to fight zoomed in. Sometimes I like to zoom in super close in big fights so I know where my marches are. So I know what I'm hitting. So I know what the closest march is. Closest march there, closest march there. You can do that, and that's why I like to drag. So I can make sure I'm always hitting the closest march to me and not a march that's deep within their murder ball. If you enjoyed this video, throw a thumbs up on here. Give it a like. I'm going to go back to fighting. We've been hammering in this 2359 KVK for a while. We're going to have Kingsland later this week. You're going to see me do all this stuff on a live stream. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully you got a little bit out of this guide to field fight and some of the parameters we talk about, some of the things to do. And with all that being said, we love you, broskies, and we hope you have an awesome day.
I don't chase trends, I ride what hits. Old war code and my cavalry kicks. Still roll strong with the Tiller's name. That ghost rides hard in the modern game. Call me Cap Simp, I don't flinch. Built by grit, don't need a clinch. What wins stays, I test and go. If it breaks the line, then I ride that flow. Hey yo, you feel that snap? Blade running straight through the map. Face taking fire, no step back. Built for the front, never off track. Swarm everything, we don't delay. You get to the front, clear that way. Join counter rally, let it explode. Best KP you get, just lock and load. Mode, stand and fight. Rallies lit up, marching right from the zone to the zone. I stay in control. Man of the people, all heart, no roll, no script, no throne, just rhythm and fire. Built for the push, never gonna tire. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatsky mode. This is Chatsky mode. No titles, no ego.